soffits. I want to use a soffit and create a vaulted ceiling and have that soffit follow the ceiling vault or actually follow the roof pitch. Using my soffit tool, I'm just going to draw a marquee holding my shift key around all of the soffits and press delete. Once we've removed the soffits, I'm going to highlight the room and use the open tool in the edit menu and remove the ceiling, and also while I'm in here I'm going to go into the crown molding and I'm going to remove that. That will open up the vault and create a cathedral style ceiling. Now I'm going to place a soffit in the plan view off to the side of the room. While I'm in here, let's turn this camera set, let's turn the layer for roofs on so we can actually see where the roof pitch is. So this green line in the center of the room represents the ridge of the vault. I'm going to select our soffit and I'm going to pull it up over to that peak and snap it into place. I'm also going to reduce the width of it. Let me turn on my temporary dimensions. I oftentimes turn that off so it doesn't clutter up my videos. So it's 6 inches on the width. Let me just slide that over to the position that we want, roughly where we're going to start it. In this view, let's actually create a thinner soffit, something like about 6 inches, and I may have to open that up and specify exactly 6 inches. So let's go ahead and set that to be 6 inches and 6 inches in width. Now before I take my next step, I'm going to run a wall elevation in my plan view. The wall elevation, I can be more precise, so I'm just going to take a wall elevation of the left wall, and you can see where that soffit is snapped. Let's also take a second elevation, and instead of using the wall elevation tool, which will just give us the wall, let's use the cross section tool and we'll just create a cross section so we can see the entire vault. Now you can take this soffit and you can move it up and down in this view, and when you open up the soffit there is a option to slope that soffit, and then once that is enabled you can actually place it under the roof, and in my case I'm using an 8 and 12 pitch roof, so it's going to slope that soffit accordingly. Now when you select the soffit, it's going to have a marquee selection as if it's parallel. It's somewhat misleading, but you see in the elevation view and in the 3D view where that's located. Let's go back into the floor plan view, and I'm going to select that soffit, and using the multiple copy tool, let's create, I'm going to set that to be, instead of evenly distributed, to offset it. We have a 6-inch soffit, and I'm going to set that soffit to copy every 48 inches, which is quite a bit of distance. Let's actually tighten that up. Let's change our multiple copy to, actually let's set it so it's smaller so you can see it. It's a very small room, working on our tiny house here. So that's copying that soffit every 24 inches in there. And if you turn on the electrical layer, I'm going to just turn on my electrical layer set so I can see where the electrical items are. And before I finish copying the rest of it, I'm just going to use my electrical tool. We'd moved those in the previous video, so I'll just move those back to the original position. And using the soffit tool again, before I click, I'm going to hold the shift key down and draw a marquee around those soffits we just created. Use my copy tool and reflect that around the room and place those soffits. So now you can see the effect of that in using the soffit tool and matching it to follow the slope of the ceiling. Sloping soffits can give you a nice perspective on your ceilings. Here's a couple of views that I have. This one's difficult to see as a technical illustration, and I don't actually have a good view, but I put soffits below the slope soffit. The soffits can sit on top of one another,